First off, though, time to terminate going to be on blue side. And Nivea, Alistar, and Darius
Oh, very
going to
cool
be their
for the
bans.
bans.
And HaNa's going to go ahead and ban out Lee Sin, Ari, and Shen. We saw quite...
Well, we saw from all lane. It's HaNa? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
HaNa.
thought it was okay. Yeah, I mean, Anivia and Alistar definitely, incredible picks. Darius can be really annoying. These teams, they looked solid. It's just the fact that all lane carry and Type A Assassins looked unstoppable.
Dominant.
So
Surely dominant.
right, we'll have to see how this works.
And then here we go. So order of the picks. Time to terminate went Janna, Nautilus, Ashe, Annie, Olaf. And HaNa in order went Taric, Vayne, Twisted Fate, Nocturne, and picking up Jax last.
Yeah, so I don't know, pretty interesting teams. We have a really aggressive team for, I guess, who's the blue?
Okay, yeah, HaNa's on right.
HaNa's on purple. Okay.
Yep.
So a really interesting team there. They have the TF and the Nocturne. I'm assuming the Ashe was picked kind of in response to that, the TF in particular. They, if you have the TF and Nocturne, you don't want to allow Ashe on that team.
Ashe Nautilus was the second set, so HaNa only had Taric and Vayne at that point.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
there wasn't really any conjunction there, but maybe HaNa didn't want them to have TF and Nocturne. So TF, Nocturne, and Ashe is like the holy trinity of you're screwed. I mean, it's
it
just,
is.
Early game aggression and, I don't know, initiation capabilities is absolutely massive. TF and Nocturne is still going to be really dangerous, and the big thing is you can turn any sort of gank.
Oh, Janna,
get out of there!
Caught there. The vision is there. Got quite not quite able to capitalize the best on that.
One of the other matches, it might have been this team again. Time to terminate. They just had a guy just kind of sitting there and get picked off right at level 1, but. Regardless, the Nocturne and TF, the really nice thing about that is if you have a gank top from Nautilus, Nautilus is really aggressive. He wants to get off an early advantage, particularly against Jax. You want to shut down Jax. Well, now TF and Nocturne come in, turn it into a 4v2, and easily win that matchup. So Jax should actually be really safe in that top lane, be able to farm and maybe even shut down Olaf as the lane progresses. Though it tends to be an easy, even lane, the fact that he has a stronger team presence will definitely help him out.
Right, and Jax, we've seen it before. We've seen it so many times before. Like any slight lead Jax can get in lane just snowballs so ridiculously out of control. And I think that's something universal in pretty much all the metas right now in the world. And here's the invade. Taric taking the point. Going to have that stun yellow card coming up. Just waiting for it. Just did not have the yellow card ready. Still gets a stun onto Annie, though, despite the flash over the wall. But they should be able to secure this blue. So HaNa may have a successful invade here, but everyone is split. Nautilus is now coming in, trying to get the Roost Arrow and yellow card from TF primed and ready. But blue stolen, secured. Olaf just wants to get his vision, though.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that Annie blew the flash, so she's going to be vulnerable in the mid lane. They get the blue very easily. Nocturne, wasted some time in mana, so he's going to be behind. He doesn't have an opportunity to counter their blue. So HaNa's blue should be safe, and it's going to slow down Nautilus a lot. So, that's always going to be nice. We do have some pressure going down bottom while Taric's out of lane, and Ashe already has a really nice advantage over Vayne. We'll see there now. Actually, the burst.
Pain getting caught by a tornado and is exhausted, but will banish the flash away and cleanse it. So this can get out of there in time. That was pretty risky.
Yeah, just as I was saying it. So Ashe, Vayne has a lot of burst damage, and then with Taric, you have the chain CC with ganks.
Right.
It can be a really aggressive lane. There's a lot of kill potential there. The concern is that Ashe just outranges Vayne Ashe outranges most champions bottom, but because Vayne really, doesn't have like an AoE ability or anything like that, you're just an auto attacker for the most part. You throw off a volley when Vayne's trying to get on you, and then you walk away. You attack Vayne in the back as she's trying to get out of there. So you get a nice advantage. In the meantime, we do see Nocturne coming up into this top lane, and he is going for it. Oh no, I thought he was moving for a second, but Olaf definitely a little out of position right here. His lane is pushing up, so he's definitely vulnerable right now.
Yeah, Nocturne's just waiting for his moment, but we saw yesterday with the super late engagement now popping up, sneaking out of the bush a little bit too early. He's been found out, and that's just a little unfortunate. So Nocturne's just going to go after he's just going to go ahead and back straight in. Axe's almost pretty good prediction too on that Axe.
I'm a little surprised. He could have gone in on Olaf. I think he was maybe concerned about running to the creep wave, and actually Olaf coming in won't be able to pick him up. I don't know. So, he is going to be safe up there. But now with the minions at Jax's tower, Jax should be fine to just kind of sit back and farm for a little bit and, just control the lane right now.
And see right now, TF leveling up those wild cards, because like with that, I mean, TF he doesn't have the greatest range, but neither does Annie. But those wild cards will just allow him to, keep him at range, keep just out of way of the Annie stun.
Yeah, I mean that is true to an extent, but with just wild cards, you actually can't kill the minions yet. Later on in the game, you can just insta clear the waves, but you really need your auto attack, and his auto attack range is definitely in range of Annie's stuns and her auto attack. So she's actually at an advantage in this lane. Can be really aggressive, particularly with Nautilus coming in, and if he's able to get an engage off of an Annie stun, oh, the
that
minions
might be
are
something.
just there.
But the yellow card, we just wanted to go up for the auto attack, just did not get it. But Tarek is actually going to get pretty aggressive there onto Ashe. The shield is there, and Nocturne is nearby. The ward in the bush, they know he's there. Vayne will tumble away, and yeah, Nocturne's not having the best of luck right now.
Yeah, bot lane's actually a really safe lane, but we do see Nautilus coming up in this top lane. There's the slow and the ghost from Olaf trying to get in. There's the pull, actually. We're really close to picking up this kill, but Jax may be able to pick up the kill into Olaf. He's going to tick down. He should be okay with his regen against those minions, so he's going to be fine.
And that's the thing with Jax, too, is that he can go ahead and escape from those ganks if he has something to jump to. Relatively easy, plus he's got the flash in top lane. He can clear a lot of distance pretty quick, but Nautilus, he doesn't give up, and there's a TF, and there is a stun going down along with the anchor and the pull, and he's trying to finish off all the damage, but waiting for the yellow card. Red card, no, that's the wrong card, TF, and Nocturne is there, but once again, not able to do anything about this.
Yeah, and so Nautilus is just incredibly aggressive early on, but he is a little bit behind right now. He's only level 3, 6 minutes in. The blue, took a little bit of a toll. He's been trying to get some ganks off. He's helped the lanes out, but as far as he's concerned, he's putting himself behind. So he'll probably just try and jungle for a little bit. It's going to be really important for him to, get a Philosopher's Stone. And because he went boots first, the early boots, you're more aggressive for ganks, but it does put down that gold generation and, getting him into his item build.
Yeah, not to mention, the red on Terminate's side has not been taken yet. I mean, it's still there waiting. And, he actually started it, and he's decided to move on elsewhere. He's like, I'm just going to go ahead and wait for an item and come back and just grab the red when it's a little bit more timely around when it usually respawn, I guess, just to keep it on time, just to keep it on point, I suppose. And that, he's having a tough time in the jungle as is. I mean, this small golem's actually almost killed him. If he went for the red, he more certainly would have died. But Jax is top lane. He is 6. He has his ultimate. He has his passive. Olaf is not quite as fortunate. He does not have the ult yet.
Yeah, and so the big key for both teams is just kind of play a defensive game. What's TTT? Okay, so time to terminate on the blue. I keep on just forgetting. There's no indications for me for these teams. Time to terminate. They definitely have some nice early game aggression. They want to pick up kills with Annie. Annie, works very well as a counter to TF because of his range early in the game. But now that we're level 6 on a couple of these champions, once we hit 6 on the Nocturne in particular, you can really expect HaNa to really ramp up the aggression. And Nautilus actually coming in mid again. He's probably going to get this snare. And there it is, the ultimate from Timbers.
Missing the anchor, but still it should be enough damage. And there's the first blood onto Annie. I'm amazed that anchor missed, actually, but it's still enough damage. He got the kill.
Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely aggressive gank, and TF is definitely vulnerable to ganks early. He's actually pretty short range, despite the range on his wild card. And I don't know, we'll have to see how that kind of works out. Later in the game, TF can really quickly clear waves, so he can just kind of move from lane to lane, not really open up ganking opportunities. That's the best thing when you have a pusher, is the fact that, if it only takes you 3 seconds to kill a wave, then that's only a 3-second window for a gank, and that's never really going to happen, so he will be safe as it progresses. He has gotten to 6, he's doing okay, and actually getting a lot of wards right now. Tarek getting the stun, and actually TF porting down bottom. We have the flash from Ashe trying to get out of there, but there's the arrow, and then condemn into the wall. Ashe is going to go down, so really nice play from HaNa right there.
Yeah, and Janna didn't really have a whole lot, but there's a yellow card. We actually get some more chunk damage, bound down to a 3rd health, and Janna knows you're gonna have to back there. You're gonna get killed against this 3-man push. But here's the thing, though. TF is now a bot. That gives Annie a little bit time to go ahead and just roam around, finding out the Nocturne, flashing over the wall, but it's got nothing to follow up on. It was probably looking for a stun, or it's probably just out of range of the Q or something.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Annie, you've seen, has been initiating with the Q in a couple of these fights. The W is actually instant, and it's about the same range as the Q. The Q will follow flashes and whatnot, but
Right.
if you get the Q on someone and they flash away, it's kind of tough to say that you're going to catch up to him anyway. But if she had just flashed and then W'd instinctively, she would have had that kill. She had the ward. She knew he was there. She could have done it. So I'm a little bit surprised she didn't go for that. There's actually the stun under tower. Olaf taking a nice chunk of damage, but Jax should be fine there. And, right now it's a pretty even lane. Olaf going for more of a health build, a little bit more survivability. But if Jax gets a fast Cutlass, then he's going to have a serious advantage in that lane with regen.
Well, Jax is a long way to catch up, though. I mean, he's about 20 creeps behind. But, thankfully enough, has not given up a kill or anything. But Olaf is just starting to just stack that armor. He's got the Tabby. He's got the Dorn Shield, now picking up a Heart of Gold. And that's the worst thing, too, like in most any lanes. If you're winning the lane and you start stacking GP10s, it just makes the lead a little less easy to catch up on.
Well, as far as gold, yes, but it actually makes you a little bit weaker in fights. So having those gold portends, Olaf is going to farm very successfully, and that's going to be awesome. But it gives Jax an opportunity where he's actually going to be stronger in 1v1 situations if he continues to go with aggressive item builds.
Annie is spotted in that bush. There is a ward not too far away right there at the top of that bush. And Vayne also getting a ward down. Dragon control is, being considered here for both teams. The wards are down. Want to make sure that there's actually a lot of wards down there in the bot river. But Nautilus is now looking around. There's the blue has been up for a while. And he might go ahead and consider passing that on over to Annie. Top lane, both champs are still back, topped off to full, continuing to farm. Olaf still has a pretty decent lead. And, Vayne bot 75-78. The farm is pretty even, but, there is the assist. There is the assist onto Vayne. So it's going to be a little bit easier time thanks to, courtesy of that gank earlier from the TF porting on in. But right now, Jax is trying to get some damage down onto the Olaf. But there's Nautilus not too far away with the ult. Going to go ahead and ruin him. But TF is here to try and save the day. But it's a little bit too late. The yellow card is there. Will be able to pick up the kill on Olaf. He is ignited. He's waiting for a few more auto attacks. But no, he will get away. Just trying to now stack some damage onto Nautilus. He does have double buff. If he can get that, that'd be nice. But I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, so Nautilus actually hooking to the wall to get himself out of there. There was kind of a concern if TF got another yellow card, then he would have been able to actually chase him down, maybe pick up the kill there. But yeah, just some nice aggression top, and actually, because of how much damage Olaf has, and Nautilus, actually, Olaf going to go down. There's the yellow card.
A little bit more damage going down. He's got 100 health, waiting for those auto attacks, trying to get what he can. There's the flash. Waiting for the yellow card. Yellow card's a minion, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. He still got the damage he needed. There's a nice blue buff for TF there, too.
Yeah, I mean, having the blue buff is definitely going to be nice, but I don't know. The big thing is that Olaf and Nautilus, they have enough killing potential that they can take down Jax before his team can respond. And that early advantage that Olaf has, he's still piling it on. Getting that chain vest is going to be able to mitigate a lot of Jax's damage. So it's kind of interesting to see this lane working out so well for him. In the meantime, Ashe is doing very well bottom. She's slightly out farming Vayne, but the big key is that Vayne had to go with the Wriggles. So, Ashe not only has the farm advantage, but the Wriggles, it makes you a little bit stronger in lane, but it's going to weaken your effectiveness in fights. We have Nocturne set up, though, as well as Annie, so we might have a huge fight going on here. Vayne actually getting some damage onto Ashe, but going to back off.
And that's the thing, though. They know. Right now, Terminate knows that top bush is warded, so Annie's staying behind appropriately just to make sure that they push a little bit too hard. But no, now she's going to be wandering through. The ward does spot her, so right now HaNa knows they should just hug the tower, keep it close just for a little bit while. But Annie and TF may actually go ahead and meet themselves in the jungle here. Both of them, they have their stuns up, and there it comes Tibbers. TF has been caught out, the stun going down onto Annie as well. They're both at below half, but Jax is here to try and help out. But there comes the arrow. Will he be able to get it? Yo, he gets the Jax, keeps him from going and getting the stun, and now he's in a little bit of a pickle here. Nautilus now coming up, and now Annie with the flash, getting down to stun. Popped up with the Nautilus ult. We'll go ahead and give a double kill to the Olaf. Vayne is here. Not quite sure that hook actually worked on that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Olaf is going to pop Ragnarok, trying to chase someone down. They're actually probably going to be able to pick up Tarek here. Nautilus going off in the other direction, though, so Tarek will be able to get out of there. They did hit him with the cleave, but with no follow-up, he was able to back up. But this is going to be a free dragon, 4-time to Terminate. Just really doing a nice job. They have a lot of really great aggression early on in team fights. TF can kind of struggle in team fights early on. He's more of like a pickoff champion. You're looking to get small situations, but he just getting some vision, so he's going to be fine. Just going to port mid, and so they do pick up that dragon.
Yeah, and sometimes Destiny is just a good tool if you just want to get vision where you don't have wards, and it's a very rare instance you want to use it. But I mean, I think that was appropriate. They just want to confirm, yes, dragon has been taken. Now we can understand the timer, so it's going to be coming up at 2020, about right? Yeah, comes up. Yeah, it's going to be coming up around 2020. So now they know the timer. Now they know when they can go back and when to be aggressive and just get some harass down there on Annie, making sure you're not recalling right now.
Yeah, and so time to terminate. Everyone's just kind of regroup right now, and for the most part, this game is going to stall for a little bit. I mean, it's not necessarily stalling; it's early in the game, but there's not really a whole lot that either team is going to be looking to do right now. With the dragon down, we could see some pushing, but because HaNa they want to be aggressive, time to terminate for the most part is going to be comfortable with just kind of sitting back for a little bit. If they can pick up some kills with Annie, that'll be huge. But for the most part, they're just going to allow this laning phase to extend for a little bit. We do have Annie coming down bot though, so we'll see. I mean, with the initiation that Ashe has, that would be huge. But Nocturne actually setting up might get an engage here underneath this tower.
Yeah, and Ashe is pretty low right now. TF, his ult is not up, so we're not going to see the ramp combo there, the card into the Nocturne ult. But right now, Olaf and Jax are also still just dueling on their own top lane. Nocturne's going to go ahead and grab the blue, possibly pass it off to TF as well, while the guys are getting into a scuffle there. And here's the thing though, Annie and TF, they've been wandering away from mid quite a bit, actually. I mean, they've had, some equal success. I mean, TF ended up getting 2 kills, Annie got a kill, some assists. TF has died twice, though, and if you look at the gold, it's pretty even. It's almost bang on even, actually.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Nautilus and Annie setting up top. Jax does have a ward there, so he knows what's happening. But actually, that Ashe arrow coming up is going to hit TF. He wasn't porting at the time, so doesn't really do a lot. But regardless, Jax is going to be able to get out of there. And actually, Janna has to force the ultimate because they are engaging onto Ashe. And there's the Nocturne ultimate as well. She gets the flash off, but unfortunately, Janna will not be as fortunate. There's the fear, and Nocturne actually going down. Can they get out of the flash from Janna? But now TF coming in. We'll be able to pick up the stun onto Janna and pick up that kill.
Nice combo coming in from HaNa. They waited for the TF ult to come on up, but there's Jax gonna get death charge in the bush. We get the vision. He does pop the ult. He's gonna have a little bit extra resist, but the hook does not manage to get him in time. Extra true damage coming from Olaf, and Jax once again will be able to get away from the Nautilus gank.
Yeah, but their team as a whole is just way behind on farm right now. Vayne actually doing a really nice job. She has the BF sword now. She's caught up and actually passed Ashe, but actually Annie, there's that burst damage just really quickly picking up the kill against TF.
Wow.
That's the concern. That's why Annie works against TF. It's just you have enough. He's really squishy. He's short range. You have enough damage to just take him down. In team fights, TF is really going to be vulnerable. I mean, you can't ever port into a fight as TF really. And then if he ever gets too close range to Annie, she can just obliterate him. Same with Vayne. So Annie having that long range just AoE against both Vayne and TF works out very well for them.
Yeah, and thinking in a lot of these fights too, just everyone's gonna be so clumped together on HaNa. It's just Tibbers is gonna be such a boon, such a huge boon to time to terminate as the game just gets later and later, because pretty much everyone's gonna be in the middle of these fights. Jax has to jump in, Nocturne's gonna be ulting in. TF and Vayne, they can't be too far away from the fight because of their range, and it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a huge problem if Annie just, continues to spiral out like this. Already got the lucky pick, and there goes the Ashe arrow, cleansed away from Vayne, but in retaliation, popping the ult, waiting for a tumble, could get a little bit extra damage here in the process, but actually just popping the ult for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, and Annie actually starting to move down, but she has to know that there's wards there, so we'll back off. I think she was trying to see if she could bait TF, and so one thing that you can do a lot of times against someone like TF, if you're looking to be aggressive with ganks, and we've seen that for Annie the entire game, you just kind of run into the river, sit off in the bush, hope that someone follows you, and then just kill them as they walk into the bush. That's not really going to happen here. They have the ward coverage, so they know that they're, if Annie's just disappeared, TF's like, oh, guess what? She's sitting in the bush waiting for me to face check it. That's not going to happen. Yeah. So we'll be fine. In the meantime, Olaf, this constant harass against Jax has worked out very well for him, and picking up that blue buff from Nautilus a little bit ago, just gives him that sustain where he can just constantly wear him down.
And not to mention, look at the gold difference. Massive. It's a 2K lead that Olaf has on Jax. This is incredibly
Oh,
impressive.
but Annie actually engaging on the Nocturne. He will throw off his ultimate and back out of there, but then
He's still
re-engaging, and this is a terrible decision for him as he's going to go down very quickly. We pick up the kill, and now Vayne is out of position. We have TF out of position as well, actually has to flash over, and there's the Nautilus depth charge following after him. The snare from Nautilus, they're trying to pick up the kill, but they should be okay to get out of here. The only issue is that Ashe, the arrow will be up in about 10 seconds, chasing after the Vayne, the flash to dodge the hook, and Tarek is going to go down, but Olaf as well is chasing down TF, and now that Ashe arrow in 5 seconds will probably be up, and any second now, it shouldn't even matter actually. Vayne is just caught. She's going to go down.
Yeah,
so really awesome play from Time to Terminate.
Wow. Wow. It was a huge misstep too from HaNa. Just, bad positioning, I think, just all around. So, the fight's going. Tarek and Vayne walking into the river, essentially into a 2v4. It's like right there in the middle of the river. It's just like, why?
The surprising thing was that they knew that they were disadvantaged, and very early on, I don't know, they just recognized, okay, the entire team's here, and they kind of ran back and forth, and we're trying to engage when it probably definitely wasn't to their benefit. I don't know if maybe they didn't see one of them and they thought that they had an opportunity, but yeah, some easy kills in the Dragon for Time to Terminate.
Yep, then he's just getting the Dragon right as it pops up, so 26-15, and TF, why are you porting in? What's going on here? Jack's going to be able to help clean up. Janna does go down. They might actually go ahead and turn this around, though. Nocturne, he's trying to get the stun, trying to get the fear onto Nos, and we'll actually be able to pick him up. But now Olaf is in a little bit of a retreat here. 2 kills they've made up for the Dragon, but Olaf will be able to go down here. One more leap strike and attack. Yes, the shutdown from Jax, and that's actually
Annie,
caught up.
It was kind of an even exchange, but Annie did pick up TF around the backside.
Yeah.
He was kind of hanging back. But it was actually, it did work out for them, and it was kind of surprising to see TF poured in. I thought they were just going to be able to burst them down fast enough, but it slowed them down for a second. They recognized, okay, their team is very low. We can pick up some kills here. Our team's, finally recuperated. So actually a really nice decision by them to get them back into the game. And we're starting to get into some of the damage items on some of their team. TF actually going for an Abyssal Scepter, so I've never seen that as a starting item for TF. But the interesting thing is, I don't know, having that magic resist reduction will definitely help the rest of his team's damage output. The only key is if he can still be safe enough to use it, and it does kind of lower some of his burst damage as well.
Well, he's recognizing now that Annie is a big problem. He's been getting caught out by Annie quite a bit. He's going to need the extra resist. And remember also too that Jax is a hybrid. A lot of the damage that he dishes out is indeed magic. So it can help him out just a little bit more as well. And there's not a whole lot of magic resist actually being bought by Terminate at this time being. Like there's a null magic mantle on Nautilus, but that's really about it.
Yeah, no, I mean the magic resist is definitely going to help him. It is kind of interesting though, but we are far enough along, and Time to Terminate is far enough ahead. It's still a very close game. It's anyone's game, but because they've already finished kind of their starting item builds, they're going to actually start transitioning into some of those defensive items on some of them. Annie will probably still go with just a regular kind of burst build, finish at Deathfire's Grasp off that Cage's pick. But we do see Olaf caught out here. We will get the stun. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough damage, but the fear's going off as well. He can pop the Ragnarok, get out of there, but now Nautilus coming in as well, and there's the Ashe arrow hitting Vayne in the back line.
Forcing the cleanse from the Vayne, but here comes the Nocturne ult trying to focus down at Annie as much as possible. That is their main target, but Nocturne will go down in the process, and Ashe is caught out, and Tarek will be able to get the last blow on that one. But TF will also be able to finish off the Nautilus, and Annie actually getting a triple kill on that before going down to the Vayne, and now it's Janna versus TF. Not the best fight in the world, but it may actually happen.
Going to be able to get in here? Oh, he's actually turning for the corner. I was wondering if he would be able to chase. Actually, the slow from Janna, and he's coming up, and so he will be able to pick him up.
Slam. Wow. And that was still a little bit of a cluster there. Yeah. And the Nocturne ult did definitely help, but Annie, everyone was clumped up in that one bush. It was an easy triple for her to pick up. Really easy.
Yeah, I was surprised. She came in with such low HP. I mean, almost any one of them could have burst her down, and she did go down. But recognizing that they were all very low, she just needed to get off the one incinerate, and she would be fine. So really nice job there. And I don't know, HaNa, they've kind of brought it back though, and they have a lot of single target DPS. They have 2 of the best late game champions in the game, in both Vayne and Jax. So if they can get them farmed, that'll obviously be a huge boon. And the big thing is if they can survive through Annie's burst damage, then they definitely have a lot of sustained damage. So that's
Right.
that's very nice. TF needs to be kept alive. TF. He's very vulnerable in fights, but his sustained damage and his constant poke is actually really strong. If you can move in and out, you have like a 5-second cooldown on your stun, so that's ridiculous to be spamming out those stuns. And you just move in and out, stun someone, throw a wild card, stun someone, throw a wild card.
Rinse, repeat, watch,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But yeah, but they know right now. HaNa knows that Annie's like prime target number one. You saw them attempt to grab the kill. She got ridiculously low, and they almost forced her out of the fight. But there's a huge, there's a huge, tanky, there's a tanky frontliner that you have to get through first, and that's Nautilus, and his ult can actually just pay off in absolute dividends. Not to mention, you have Ashe also for the arrow for the counter initiation.
And the issue is not just it's not just the Nautilus. It's the fact that time to terminate, they get to decide when all of the fights are going to happen. They have the Ashe for initiation. Any one of these champions is basically a good target for them. So there's not really a concern where maybe you don't want to hit someone. The cleanse is still down on Vayne, so for another like 30 seconds, they're going to be vulnerable. If she gets hit again, she's definitely going to go down. And actually, Olaf coming in for a little bit of damage will get some off, but actually the stun, and he's going to have to back out of there. But it does open up an opportunity for his team. Nautilus coming in with the depth charge.
Right there with the depth charge, actually going for the Nocturne and for the Taric, but he's all caught out in front. There is Tibbers wreaking havoc, actually getting the Nocturne. Jax is down, Taric's down, Ashe is cleaning up here. Nautilus does go down in process, and there's a triple kill for the Ashe. Will you be able to chase down the Vayne? Yes, for the Quadra. Very well done. Very well done. Everyone's saying the concern is Annie. The concern is Annie. Ashe is pretty well farmed too, and he just kind of forgot about that for a moment too. The focus was a little mismanaged.
Oh, and that's the issue, is late game Ashe and Janna is such a fantastic combination if you can get them farmed, and Ashe is very clearly farmed. So, the damage output that they have, and then the kiting potential, against Jax to have the whirlwind, have the volley as well. They can just take anyone down in the game, basically, as long as they're staying alive. So that's definitely a serious issue for, HaNa, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Ashe is definitely going to be able to pick up some nice farm down this bottom lane. That's always a bonus. You're like, oh yeah, it's Christmas. You get the huge minion wave, but I don't know. They'll probably hold off. I mean, they could pressure Baron because they know how strong they are. They want to force a fight, but because of the range of Ashe, it actually might be more beneficial for them to just kind of push down a wave. And the issue is that TF can stall out waves pretty easily. He does have really nice pushing capabilities, but I still think that Ashe has enough range. And then if we throw the Janna shield on Nautilus, we have the double shield. He can tank the turret for like 1 or 2 hits, and they can just kind of slowly poke it down. But HaNa actually looking for an engage here.
There's Stroy's being popped, and there's a Nocturnal going right in. TF will have to port mid as well to try and get the stun, try and get some extra damage. They're chasing down Annie. It's a 2v1. Annie's going to have to try and deal with that, but there is Olaf to help. And there's the Ashe arrow to help as well, but now Olaf is in the middle of all of HaNa. Annie will eventually go down, but now Nautilus has quite a bit to contend with. The contend will actually send Olaf up against the wall, keeping him occupied just for a moment. And now TF, he's in real trouble, and just pretty much a double kill, almost nearly double kill with that volley. And now Taric is in a bit of trouble. Ashe is now starting to just clean up this fight. Absolutely, just trying to get the slows. Gets the slow, gets the ignite down onto Taric, finish that one up. And Jax and Vayne are in a huge bunch of trouble. Like 1 arrow each will be able to finish the job on either.
Yeah, but they are going to be fine. They will be able to back off, but it does open up an opportunity
volley,
for
just
Ashe
volley
to farm.
right into the bush. That would
Yeah,
he is
going to back off. But the big thing is, it was a really nice engage from HaNa. They were able to, pick up some kills there. Ashe is going to be able to pick up this red buff, so, that's going to be really nice to deny that from Vayne. But even with the 4v5, and it was actually, it was more like a 5v3 because they were scattered the whole time. They were able to pick off people individually. They all got extremely low, and you can really tell that, the advantage that Time to Terminate has at this point in time. If the two of them are going head-to-head, then really easily Time to Terminate is going to win those matchups when their entire team is there. So that's really key for HaNa to be able to just continue picking people off. Vayne actually going to be passing that blue to TF, and now if we see a forced Baron from Time to Terminate, they could really easily pressure them, into a poor situation, and we are pretty sure that they should be able to win these 5v5s pretty easily at this point.
Yeah, Annie just, once Annie just gets the stun up, gets the Tibbers ready and available, and that's just fantastic. It's all you need. The ults are pretty much all back up for Terminate as well, so they're ready, they're prepared. TF is not so lucky though. Nocturne doesn't have his ult either, and there's the Ash arrow right down in front, going down onto TF. He's stun locked at the moment with the Tibbers, and he will be the first one to go down. And Tarek's in a bit of a pickle, and so is Jax, and it is just an absolute slaughter over down by the Baron pit. It's no big deal for Terminate right now. Nocturne was just not a factor in that fight at all, and TF was out in front, and just there's a teddy bear.
Yeah, so not only is the Baron going to go down, this is going to be a free inhibitor. They will be able to continue to push. They are actually probably going to be able to pick up a Nexus turret. I don't think they have enough time for the Nexus, but they are strong enough, and they're actually really high health right now that they could just pressure it and decide to end the game. You know, we'll have to see whether or not they can defend this, because they're easily going to get one Nexus turret. They'll probably get both, so this is actually going to be a GG from Time to Terminate. I'd be really surprised if we see, you know, a defense here.
Yep. Well,
So there we go.
Everyone's back up. Everyone's back up here on HaNa, and they're trying their best. They're actually focusing down the Olaf. He's a little bit too close to the fountain. And Ash, though, getting singled out by Jax and will actually fall to the TF. The shutdown going to get some gold, and there is TF actually with the double kill as well. His ult is not up. He will not be able to chase as much as he'd like to, but it will be there in a second.
Really,
he might use it.
Really kind of disorganized fight from Time to Terminate.
Yeah.
They're kind of going in one at a time. TF actually trying to stall him here, but Annie has the stun, and you can get the instant stun when he, you know, pops up. You know, so they will be fine there. But actually, he is porting. No, just going to you know, get some more pressure.
You want to go a few feet ahead. You just wanted to be. It's like, no, I'm leading the charge against the turret. You follow me.
I'm still just shocked. They just kind of, I don't know, ran in one at a time, trying to pick up kills at the fountain. They kind of figured the game was dead as well. But now we see this turret is going to go down. You know, the Baron is gone, so they lost the Baron buff. I mean, if they had just you know, finished the Nexus or even just backed off, then the game would probably be over any second. But now, you know, we're in a situation where I don't know, Time to Terminate might find it difficult to continue to push, and they are going to be able to pick up this dragon. You know, Jax is getting even stronger. Vayne is incredibly powerful at this point in time. Has, you know, had the Black Cleaver for a while, but finishing the Phantom Dancer as well. So I don't know. We'll have to see kind of how things go for them.
Yeah, I mean, even like that last fight too. Well, Annie, we actually see them. We get the Tibbers and you get to stun something, anything. No, will not be able to single out anyone. That's the thing, though. She may be isolated, she may be alone, but she still has the buff. She is still a threat. You can see how much of a threat. Nocturne just flashes away, but there is the Ash arrow going down onto Nocturne. Quick heal from Tarek just to top off a little bit, but now Annie is still a massive, massive threat. With Ash together, one stun from Annie, both of them could just go ahead and just single out and kill any one member of HaNa if they get a little bit too far away from the base. But there's still a pretty decent amount of pressure coming in from Terminate. But still, though, that fight over by Fountain, Olaf was just so far out of position. He was on the back of it. It was convenient. It was convenient for HaNa to actually just go in and engage upon him at Fountain. It's really easy. Now Annie with Azonia's going to try and be protected as much as possible, but Nocturne will go in pretty deep into the back line, but Tibbers should be able to take care of a lot of that, and TF actually teleports right over the wall to go ahead and get the stun, make the kill on Olaf, and Nautilus will actually be the next one to go down. Nice double kill for TF so far, and Jax will be able to go ahead and finish off, help Vayne finish off the Ash.
So Time to Terminate really has to watch out that they're not going to lose this, because Janna will very likely go down with that red buff. Vayne has the bonus movement speed, just barely not able to catch up to her. So with the whirlwind again, Janna will be fine.
Wow.
One more tumble, still can't get it. But the surprising thing is, I mean, Time to Terminate, in their minds, this game has been over, and they're just like, yeah, the game's over, whatever. We're kind of pushing.
Never over.
2 careless fights in a row. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that this is looking like a throw right now, but we'll have to see. I mean, Time to Terminate, they're kind of just tanking the turret for a little bit, trying to get an engage under the turret. Really just reckless, and they could just, you know, slowly poke down the turret. They have the advantage of the mid turret being down, of the mid inhibitor being down, and they could just kind of sit back and, you know, allow the game to just win itself for them. But I don't know, just really kind of reckless play, and now we see a situation where Vayne and Jax.
Yeah, well, Vayne and Jax are definitely in a pretty good spot right now. Actually, it also looks like Vayne's going to be going for the Guardian Angel just to go ahead and have that extra life. And Jax, he's getting fairly tanky as well. He's got the Frozen Mallet, he's got the Cutlass, so he's going to have all of the slows available to him. But see, that's the issue. Like the last fight, though, this is just basic positioning stuff that Terminate is falling off on. I mean, Annie was just a little bit too far out and just forced out of the fight damn near immediately.
Well, the big thing is it's positioning, but it's not necessarily the Annie positioning. It's the fact that if they poke down, what they want to do is they want to force TF and Vayne to engage. They want them to Vayne and TF. Their best situation is when Olaf or Nautilus split from the team and run at them, because then they can just focus on them. They don't have to worry about, getting in that kill zone for Annie. But if they just have Ashe poke down the turrets, then very quickly Vayne and TF are forced into a situation where they need to, force a fight. They need to run right at you. And then we have the Annie ultimate right to the face, and very quickly Time to Terminate should be able to just obliterate them and win a fight. And so the issue is that they're not forcing Vayne and TF to engage. By letting them sit back, by bringing the fight to them, they're putting themselves in a situation where they can, just be really careful there.
Yep. Also, I want to stress how important this ward is right here, because that allows HaNa to actually go ahead and get those TF stuns over the wall to get engages that they want. So right now, Olaf and Nautilus, they are in front trying to peg out the inhibitor. Once again, Troy's being popped to get the stun down onto the Ashe. Will they be able to get on anything on this? HaNa will not, and there's Tippers actually getting 2-3 members preoccupied there, and Vayne, the GA, will be popped, but Jax is down in the front line. He will go down pretty quickly. Double kill going down onto Tarek, and Nautilus Nocturne is actually pretty far behind as well, and it looks like now this time Terminate, they got the engage they want, and they should be able to go ahead and just clean up everyone, and there is the ace for Ashe. Nexus will be open. Now it's open. The inhibitor had to go down first, but there it is. Now, finally, Time to Terminate will go ahead and clean up everything else, and they'll go ahead and lift the GG.
So unfortunately, so now Time to Terminate, they're 1-1 now. They had lost to Type A Assassins.
Yep.
They're in a situation where if they beat all lane carry, they could, get out of this group stage. Unfortunately, now with this situation, HaNa, they are out of it. They're 0-2 right now.
Yep.
They will, have another match for the group stage, but at 0-2, there's not a situation where you can get out. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We will have some cool matches coming up, though.
Yeah. Well, remember, there is still the wild card set, and even then, if there are situations that can occur.
Oh, okay.
There could very well be strange situations that occur where someone, if so many teams just lose happen against each other, not likely.
Right.
But still, though, they still have to play against Type A Assassins for just for pure seeding. And if they manage to beat Type A Assassins, that could actually throw a lot of stuff out.
Oh,
of
that's
whack.
true. I mean, since if Type A Assassins, since they're one of those top teams, that's definitely an interesting situation. But
you never know.
Regardless, just all around nice play from Time to Terminate. A couple of mistakes here and there, trying to lose the game for themselves, but they're able to pull it out in the end. They have just a really nice, solid team comp with Ashe and Annie and Janna and Nautilus. It just all kind of works together very well. It's a very safe team. You have lots of disables. So I don't know, really nice job. We'll see. We will be back from a commercial break shortly, and we're actually going to be coming in. Is it
Time to Terminate
versus ALC?
And all lane carry.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it is. So we will be back in just a moment. So do please stay tuned.